Whoa, hey everybody. Well, the 49ers fell from the ranks of the unbeaten, and they did so in an epic battle that, let's face it, everybody expected from the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks beat the San Francisco 49ers by the score 27-24, and I'm glad I went down and caught it because I went down. My mom, who I'm here with, said, "Oh, this is an epic battle. There's some battling," as she puts it. As my mom so wonderfully puts it. Let's in this live stream. Again, this is going to be a short one, but I have to mark this occasion because it's special. Let's take a look at the stats. First of all, the San Francisco 49ers really started out ahead 10-0 in the first quarter, and then the Seattle Seahawks defense really took over, and Jadeveon Clowney scored the first touchdown for the Seahawks in the second quarter. Third quarter, Seahawks went in, adjusted their game plan, came out and scored a total of 14 straight points to put them ahead. And then the 49ers says, well, we're not quite done. So they added in the fourth quarter 14 points of their own compared to the 3 for the Seahawks. And we wound up in a situation where we had a tie. That brought us to, as Kenny G said, a very good game in overtime, where the Seahawks prevailed. However, the 49ers would have prevailed had its kicker made his field goal. After hitting field goal after field goal during regulation, in overtime, under extreme pressure, he missed. The Seahawks feasted, beast mode, and they won. So what does this say for the overall playoff picture? We'll take a look at that in a second. I'll go over the stats as I promised I would. Russell Wilson, 24 of 34 passes, 232 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Rushing, Chris Carson had 25 carries for 89 yards, a 3.6 yard average. That's all. A credit to the 49ers defense that he was able to tally a 70s style low rushing yard average, or rate, of just 3.6 yards. There are a lot of defenses that'll take that. And you had Russell Wilson, who had 6 for 53. However, Russell tapped in an 8.8 yard average, demonstrating the advantage of having a mobile quarterback. Tyler Lockett, 1 for 3. Rashard Penny, 2 for 2 yards with a 1 yard average, obviously. Receiving, the phenom that was not drafted when he should have been drafted in the first round high, DK Metcalf, proving how some NFL people miss on certain players that other NFL people pick up, was the leading receiver. DK Metcalf is his name. 6 receptions, 70 yards, no touchdown, but he made a ton of big plays. Jacob Hollister, 8 for 62. Malik Turner, 2 for 35. Josh Gordon, 2 for 27. Tyler Lockett, 3 for 26. Chris Carson, the running back, 3 for 12. And David Moore had nothing. So this is a game of fumbles. We had 5 Seahawk fumbles, 2 that were lost. Jadeveon Clowney on defense recovered 1, scored a touchdown, and Jaron Reed recovered, forced another fumble as well. He didn't recover it, and Pina Ford had a recovery of his own. So interceptions, Quandre Diggs 1, and that was it. I'm not going to go over the entire stats because we're getting a bit too into the minutia. And then I'll go over to the 49ers here. 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo had, here we go, the NFL has thrown up a Capital One advertisement in my face. Now I have to close that one. Stop seeing that ad. I'm not interested. This is not a good thing, okay? Cool. That's not a good thing. I'm in the middle of reading the stats, and what happens is that they block it with an ad. Look at this, all right? This is, I have to share this with you. It's infuriating when you're on a roll, and okay, that's what you get when you're clicking on the stats, all right? So I'm going to refresh the screen. Hopefully that poorly placed JavaScript will reset itself, and I'll get my stats sheet as I wanted it, and that is exactly what happened. Voila. Okay, I had to basically refresh the page to get rid of the faulty JavaScript's activity. Now I can click on 49ers, because I showed you the ad, right? This is what happens. You refresh the screen, you get that. Just a little minor technical tip, all right? Now it's back. Remember I had the ad before? I had to refresh the screen to get that. Bad NFL. Bad, bad, bad. Anyway, okay. Oops, sorry about that, folks. I caught you. You're not going anywhere. How about that? For the first time. Usually I don't catch it. The phone just falls, right? All right. Not this time. Okay. Not this time. 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo. 24-46, 248 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And Tevin Coleman was 9 carries for 4.4 yards. Rasheed Mostert, 6 for 28. Matt Breida was 10 carries for 18 yards. And Jimmy himself was 2 carries for 1 yard, 0.05 average. So their running game, so overall was better, right? Slightly. Deebo Samuel led all receivers, 8 for 112 yards. And then Kendrick Bourne, 4 for 42. Tevin Coleman, 4 for 32. Emmanuel Sanders, 2 for 24. Ross Dwelly, 3 for 24. Raheem Mostert, 1 for 7. Matt Breida, 2 for 7. Kyle Juszczyk, none. And Marquise Godwin, none. And there you go, okay? So, in terms of fumbles, Jimmy Garoppolo had not just 1 interception, but 2 fumbles. I want to make a very important point here. If you take Jimmy Garoppolo's name off and put Jameis Winston's name in, what do you think people would be saying? Okay? Now, they would be saying that even if the Buccaneers had gotten to a point where this is their first loss, it would be Jameis reverting to being Jameis. However, we have an entirely different situation here because the 49ers lead the league in rush yards attempted per game and percentage of their total plays called being from representing the running game. They do that for a reason, and we saw the reason. And the reason is that Jimmy, left on his own, occasionally misses throws, and while he's by and large quite effective, because of the way the 49er passing game is designed, he is more often than not called to make throws into tight coverage that get tipped and intercepted. And I've seen that happen a bunch of times. All right? The 49ers defense is amazing, and it saved the 49ers from what could have been more disaster during the game. In fact, the 49ers defense is number 1 in the league. This may be the 49ers' only loss. So it does, as I look at it, I don't see the 49ers as on the way to collapse because of this. The 49ers played what we all agree is a special foe in the Seattle Seahawks. So I'll get to your comments in one moment here. I just want to get to the team stats. The team stats look like this as I wait for them to open, and they're not opening. Boy, this... Okay, now I get the Disney ad. Star Wars Galaxy Edge, now open. That was an unpaid mention. Walt Disney World, let me get rid of that. As closed, stop seeing the ad. Okay, fine. Now you know what I got to do when I get this? I got to refresh the screen all over again. That's just bad, all right? I got to refresh the screen to continue watching the stats because they have this JavaScript in here that just won't take these ads away or put them in a place. I don't mind seeing the ads, or put them in a place where they're not blocking my ability to read the information about the game. Okay. All right. Stats. Team. Clicking on it again, and it will not give me that again. I want the team stats. It gives you this block. It says Niners, which says, okay, first of all, stats, all right? And I'll just click on team. Still not getting them. Bad. I might just have to let the team stats resuscitation go because it's not opening it up. Never seen that before. I get an ad for Ford versus Ferrari. Wow. Wow. I like the old one where I didn't have to deal with this JavaScript they put in here. Man, oh man, insights. The insights open up, fun fact. That's cool. But then the stats that I want, and I click on team, and I don't get anything. Bad stuff. All right, moving along, I'm going to move back to your comments. Kenny G says, this is a very good game. He also says, Seahawks put themselves back in the race with this win. I don't see the 49ers going to Seattle and win, no way. Rob Iman says, Niners need to give Dez a call. Big B says, what a wild game. And Rob Iman says, Rob, how you doing? Rob Iman says, injuries have caught up to the defense. They have, you know, it was a hard-fought battle. It really was. That's putting it mildly. Okay, to say that it was a hard-fought battle, and that is putting it mildly. Okay, so how does this square things? Patrick and Blackman says, I knew Seattle would win. And Champ says Jimmy G is overrated. And Philly Born, how you doing, Philly Born? I haven't seen you in a while. Philly Born says the NFC West is loaded. It is, isn't it? I mean, you got these teams beating up each other. It's something else. All right, so we've got standings now. Maybe the standings have been immediately adjusted here. Let's see if the coding here is such that I get the information I want from the NFL. All right. NFC South, NFC is, they still have the Niners. Yeah, okay, it is. Immediately adjusted. Here's what it looks like, folks. Bam. San Francisco 49ers, 8 wins, 1 loss. Seattle Seahawks, 8 wins, 2 losses. Ooh. Wow. Percentage, Niners are ahead by a hair. The Rams are 5-4. The Cardinals are 3-6. So the way things are looking overall, if you go upstairs, the Saints got thumped by the Rams. The Buccaneers won a hard-fought battle, and let's put it this way: if the Saints are 4 games ahead of the Bucs, but there's more than that to go. So this race, with the Saints falling the way that they have, could be said to be wide open if the Falcons decide to go on a run or the Buccaneers decide to go on a run. Now, some of you are laughing, but I do think that's possible. We look at the Packers, though. 8-2. 8-2. And you know they're looking at the Niners outcome, and they're just saying, ha ha. But then look at the Vikings. Because the Vikings are saying, hey, wait a minute. We beat the Cowboys. All right? We're 7-3. And then the Cowboys are 5-4, tied with the Eagles. But you're only going to get, the way things are looking, I'll bet you're only going to get one playoff representative out of that group, because you've got 2 teams here with better records. The Bears are 1 win away from being in contention with the Cowboys and the Eagles. Then you've got the Panthers at 5-4, the Bucs at 3-6, the Falcons at 2-7. And then, of course, you have the Rams at 5-4 down here. So the way all this is shaping up, you're only going to get one right now, as it looks. You're only going to get one playoff representative out here. Now, look, a lot can change. But right now, the Niners' loss has really put the NFC East in a position where it's a battle for the division, because you're not going to get a wild card coming out of there. The way things are looking right now, that's how that's sizing up. That's how that's sizing up right there. So every play, every game is significant, but this one was very significant, to say the least. And it also says, yeah, injuries make a big difference. Let's face it, injuries cause you to change game plans, go away from your approach. There's a lot that can be said about injuries that spell not making the playoffs. So we'll have to see how this sorts out. Now, let me see here. Rob Iman says Niners need to give Dez a call. Big B says, what a wild game. Rob Iman says injuries have caught up with the defense. Kenny G says 49ers organization are blocking the stats. Could be. Patrick and Blackman says I knew Seattle would win. Champ Car for Life says Jimmy G is overrated. Philly Born and Rays said the NFC West is loaded. Rob Iman says Jimmy G had no weapons around him tonight. Kenny G says the blank is done. There's no coming back. What is this, Kenny G? What is that? The blank is done. There's no coming back. After that, no shows in Pittsburgh. Rob Iman says, I think Philly wins the NFC East. Yeah, the Cowboys. The Cowboys' issue was game plan. It's not that they don't have the personnel, but if you have a 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 1, and you're running sideways and and you're running sideways, you have these reach blocks in that direction, and you're allowing the defenders to come in and get your running back before the running back reaches the line of scrimmage. That's a bad game plan. You're asking a lot from your running back to deal with that kind of bad by design scenario. All right. Better off going straight up the middle or play action. All right. Here we go here. Miguel Nunquist says the game looked like a EF5 tornado colliding with a Category 5 hurricane. What a duel. I like that. Kenny G says Rams. Aaron C says game of the year. Yeah, I agree with you. Philly Born says Philly Born and Rays 4 for 4. Although the game of the year to me was the Rams versus the Bucks, where the Bucks beat LA at home. Philly Born and Rays says, but we can't beat the Cowboys. They beat us 4 straight. And Kenny G says yesterday. So but the whole point is, was this a game? Yeah, it was definitely a game. I mean, and again, there's a lot of life left. Yeah. Okay, so I said earlier that I've got a busy schedule, so I'm going to have to sign off early. Pete Elm says Wilson, talking about Russell Wilson for MVP. I agree with you. Although there's somebody named Lamar Jackson that's giving him a run for his money. But let's talk about this more tomorrow. Please, if you have not done so, subscribe to Zinni62 on YouTube. Thank you. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Champ says, I'm starting to believe the Raiders will stay in Oakland. Yeah, hey, it's looking tight. We'll talk about it tomorrow. I'll see you.